Are you experiencing hair loss? Do you wish to know the mechanism behind hair loss? Well, there's finally some hope for balding people. Researchers studying genetics at Northwestern University in Chicago have identified two genes that seem to regulate hair loss. The research team made this interesting discovery using laboratory mice. They found that two genes, namely FOXC1 and NFATC1, were largely responsible for trapping stem cells in the hair follicle's bulge. These genes were less active in older hair follicle cells. Lab imaging showed individual epithelial cells migrating away from the stem cell compartment when these two genes were intentionally disrupted. The researchers are now trying to find out if altering these genes can revert the process of hair loss in mouse models. Although human clinical trials have not been conducted so far, this is nevertheless a deeply interesting discovery. The study has been published in the reputed journal Nature and therefore has major implications in the area of hair loss. Approximately 15% of the northern hemisphere and nearly 11% of the global surface has been hiding underneath the Arctic permafrost for nearly 1 million years. Deadly strains of pathogens, such as bacteria and viruses, have been lying dormant underneath the permafrost for thousands of years. In the 1950s, a lot of nuclear testing has been carried out in the Arctic. Significant quantities of radioactive isotopes remain buried under the permafrost ice and in the Arctic soil. Owing to mining and other activities in the Arctic, the permafrost also harbors toxic chemical compounds and slow-poisoning heavy metals. Imagine what would happen if the permafrost were to begin melting. The human race would be inevitably exposed to cancer-causing radiation emanating from the radioactive isotopes. Virulent strains of bacteria and viruses that have been lying dormant for centuries underneath the Arctic permafrost would wake up and start spreading deadly infections and epidemics around the world. Unfortunately, the Arctic permafrost has been rapidly melting for the past several centuries. If it continues on the same trajectory, then the human race is likely to go through major suffering owing to the spread of new diseases and deadly global pandemics. According to previous scientific estimates, nearly 1 trillion, or 10 to the power 21 bacteria, fungi, and viruses will be released from the melting ice every year. The deadly pathogens, released directly into the oceans, will be swiftly carried across the globe, owing to the migratory nature of many species of fish and birds. Therefore, the disease transmission rates will also be extremely high if the permafrost melts catastrophically. The Arctic permafrost covers roughly 23 million square kilometers of the northern hemisphere, and its thickness varies from less than 1 meter to more than 1 kilometer. These deadly predictions have been made in the reputed journal Nature Climate Change. Space scientists studying the hot exoplanet WASP-76b have reported an unusual observation. On this ultra-hot Jupiter, iron gets vaporized from the surface and then falls from the sky like regular rain. This strange exoplanet, discovered in the year 2016, is approximately 640 light-years away from planet Earth. Its day side, the side that faces the exoplanet's star, records an average temperature of 2,400 degrees centigrade. The exoplanet's permanently colder side records an average temperature of nearly 1,300 degrees centigrade. Subscribe to Videonium for more such interesting videos.